Hello and welcome to the Rugby Hive, which presents coverage of the 2020 Olympic Games, the unofficial source for official information, along with free shreds, a couple of haircuts. We know Ben certainly needs one after what he's been going through. It's a tremendous welcome to record holder, Guinness World Record legend, a player that has scored so many tries in the World 7 Series, and most of us has gone through Robin's channel, some through my channel as well as wearing gloves, so obviously I'm slipping over. But Ben Gollings, welcome to the Hive. It is such a privilege to have you on, my friend.
Hey, Dallen Robin, thank you. It's awesome, actually. I've really enjoyed listening to your show since you guys started it. And the opportunity to jump on board and work alongside you guys is fantastic. I'm looking forward to some banter and some cheap shots, as we always love, and just some fun and chat around a game we love with sevens and rugby in general.
And Ben, we're just looking at some of the stats, Robin, just to say, your stats are okay. I mean, so I think I had about 5 tries in the series. Robin had about 7 brilliant tries. There was some sensational long-range efforts from us too. But you were quite cheeky. 220 tries on the series. You've obviously kicked a few kicks with a golden boot of yours. How come no one has touched you on the point series ever?
It's a good question. I think longevity helped early days. No, I mean, on the serious side, I think I was very fortunate to play for quite a long time, which helps. I mean, rugby careers cut short easily nowadays with the ferociousness of the game. So I was able to play for over 10 years, which helps. But I think being in the right place at the right time and having a knack for scoring points was one side of it. And, representing England in a fantastic team that we had helps. But in terms of the points, I was getting a little bit nervous. Tomasi Karma might sneak up there, but age caught up with him too. But fantastic player, and some of the guys now in the World Series, we'll just see. I mean, it's obviously been it's tough for them in terms of some of the bits they've been through and the way in which the series works now. But there's every opportunity, I think, for somebody to come along and knock me off that mantle at some point.
Well, Ben, I think it was that golden boot as well. And the thing that I always admired as you as an opponent, you played before and after, but just your consistency in all aspects of your game, and identified with you because I'm not a big guy either. So you could do it all. And you had some good horses around you. So thrilled to have you on, like our regular catch-ups that we have. Obviously you're down under in Australia and catching up on time zones. You came up with a really good idea. And, when we started the Rugby Hive, we never wanted to limit it to just a podcast. We obviously have Karen Gasbarino in Ontario that does our writing for us. And just share a little bit about this approach that you're bringing to the Hive. Yeah,
well, we've connected for a long time. And so having the idea around the opportunity to share in something that's a passion of all of ours, and particularly sevens, which is an up and coming and a constantly growing sport. And obviously we've touched upon now an Olympic sport, to give another flavor and another angle and some of our views and thoughts, I thought would be fantastic to the game and to help support the game really and boost it more so than ever. Obviously we'll touch upon some of the tough times that it's been through just recently, but to help grow it. And then with you guys doing a fantastic job with the exposure that you're creating for rugby in the US, which I had a touch point on, having lived there and played there for a bit. So from my point, I think it's just exciting to be able to share in that and bring that to the listeners. And obviously anything that they want to know, we greatly respond to.
Yeah, just a bit of a deeper dive as well, Dallen, as far as what goes on behind the scenes in a sevens tournament and the build up to these teams. Everybody's got a different approach. And with obviously 12 teams competing at the Olympics, but regular in the World Series, there's 16. In Hong Kong, there's 24 teams. It's literally from every corner of the world. So with that, there's pros and cons. Obviously Canada, we get a lot of snow, but they train on the West Coast. In Fiji, they get a lot of sun, but they may not have the same resources. So just getting some insights and what fans see on the field, they see a 7-minute half, a 14-minute game 3 times a day. But that day for the coaches and the staff typically starts at about 4 a.m. and typically ends at about midnight each day, right? And they just see that in and out show. It's a full day process, and we're looking forward to again diving a bit deeper into these stories and highlighting these incredible World 7 Series athletes that just don't get enough love. And I know in the North American world, the other sports take precedence in the media. But, around the world, our North American stars like the Isles and the Hirayamas and the Bakers and the Kelters are known, all over the world, but they may not even be known in their own town. So just sharing their stories to inspire that next generation always is just a passion.
Yeah, look, I think one of the big things, Robin, we learned through sevens. You guys have been through it. I've been through it. Is adaptability. You can have the best laid plan, and I think the nice thing about sevens is it always throws a curveball. Wherever you are in the world, whoever you're playing against, wherever you're staying, the teams that adapt best and the quickest are the teams that often go on and perform, and it supports that kind of consistency of performance which you need in the sevens now, with it being so highly competitive. So for me, I think that's a fun part of what the game is as a challenge to you as a group of players, as a team, and as an individual.
And Ben, I want to touch on, people have seen you on the series for many, many years, scoring all those points and captaining England, and especially those victories in Hong Kong look very special. Can you give us just a brief update of where rugby has taken you since you retired from the Sevens World Series to where you are now?
Kids,
I say
kids.
brief because you've done a lot. Exactly.
On a global tour.
Yeah.
I think the kind of the travel bug and the way in which sevens moved me around the world over the years is kind of followed in the future for me. So coaching has been a passion. It's something I've been involved in since I stopped playing. But that took me to Sri Lanka, where I had an amazing opportunity, just opened my eyes to a new culture and just the love of the game there, and the size of the game was pretty spectacular. And then that kind of went through Asia. So I've been in the likes of China, Singapore, through those areas, and just seeing how rugby is really taking on and really developing in those areas. It's not just about those places. When you jump on like the Asia series, you can see how passionate they are about rugby, and that's fantastic. And I think that we're going to see more of them to come. And then to the US, where we lived in Seattle for a number of years and supported growing rugby. I was working alongside a good friend and foe on and off the field in Waisali Serevi. So the opportunity there to be involved in rugby and help the development was fantastic. And you guys are at the forefront of that now, and you're seeing where it's really growing, and we're seeing the MLR, going from strength to strength. And then back to Australia for me, where my wife's family is from. We're living here on the Gold Coast, which is not a bad place to be. And as Dallen said, there's a number of little baby BGs running around. So we're 4 and got one on the way actually, which is quite exciting. So we're gonna have a Jan 2022 baby. So along with a lot of travel and some kids keeping busy and I think staying in tune with the game that gave me so much opportunity, and I love just being able to be a part of it still.
Ben, that's fantastic, and that'll certainly keep you busy. Almost got a full sevens team happening on that side. Gollings number 10.
If I can keep playing, I just need one more player.
Oh goodness. So okay, let's touch on what fans can expect. We're obviously going to cover everything there is about the women's and the men's Olympic Games, the sevens, which kicks off on July 26th. Let me quickly read out the pools so people can get familiar with what's going on. And we were not going to dive into this episode, but we are going to cover every single pool with insight from obviously Ben and Robin and myself. Let's look at the men's side of things. Pool A, we've got New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, and the Republic of Korea. So that'll be pretty big. Fiji top Pool B with Great Britain, who were fantastic last time. Canada, Robin's Canada, and Japan, who you can expect something great from them as well. Then Pool C has South Africa, the Blitzboks, the USA, Kenya, and Ireland, who have been brilliant of late. So those are how it stacks up on the men's side of things. So the women's pools, Pool A, New Zealand. Then it's the ROC, which stands for the Russian Olympic Committee, Great Britain, Kenya. Pool B, Canada are there with France, Fiji, and Brazil. Pool C, Australia, USA, China, and Japan. We will analyze these pools. Just off the top there is no such thing as an easy pool. What do you guys reckon?
I would say, yeah, I would agree. And that's the whole beauty of the Olympics, is just having 12. I really wish they did have 16 maybe down the road. But I mean, yeah, you got to show up to play. I sat down with Pat Kay last week with the Canadian side, and he's like, you know what, we've got a really tough pool. But he goes, I'm ready to get stuck in. So whoever we got, we'll take. And you got to show up day one. You got to show up every game to win a medal. And that's the beauty of the Olympics.
Yeah, I think they're ferocious, both men and women's, and the big key is with only 12 teams, you've really got to be on your medal, because you need to be getting into those top 2 slots within your pool. You know, often in the 16 team format, you get the opportunity to maybe have a quieter game. Obviously, you're not looking for it, but sometimes it happens. You get the ability to bounce back. But the Olympics schedule is pretty ruthless. You got to come out and you got to perform. You got to perform every game. And obviously, if you want to win that gold medal, that goes right to the final.
Well, we can't wait to tee up more of these interesting chats. We've got some great insight, of course, from former England Sevens captain Ben Gollings, hot stepper himself, Robin. Listen, Robin, do you still have the poster of Ben in your room? I know you had it last time we spoke.
Which one? I got like 3.
Well, we'll get a signed copy this time now that Ben's joined the Hive, so we can't bloody wait. So thanks for joining us on the Rugby Hive, where it's always champagne rugby. Make sure to visit rugbyhive.com. That's the hub for everything we do. We, of course, have a podcast in which we interview legends of the game, former and current players and coaches, with the best journalists around, and Karen Gasbarino, plenty of profiles and brilliant reads. And then we have a brilliant clothing range as well. You can find 40 magnificent items at World Rugby Shop. Click on Rugby Hive in the search bar. Ships worldwide. And you can obviously get some signed merch from Ben himself. We'll be teeing that up also when we see him next. Follow us on the socials at Rugby Hive on Twitter and Facebook, at My Rugby Hive on Insta. Until the next Olympic Sevens, Chinwag, keep safe out there. And we'll see you soon, you sleek sensations.